This podcast is brought to you by Convo Cloth, the official clothing apparel of the NBC podcast. For the latest apparel, please go to www.nothingbutconvos.com. Now, let's get into the latest episode of the NBC podcast with your boy, S. McCann. What's good, people? It's the NBC podcast with your boy, S. McCann. And this is episode 49, Eagles Week 1 review. It's the 2023 new season. Fresh off that loss of the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. We're trying to make it back in week 1 against the Pats. It ain't looked too good, but we still got that dub. And so in this episode, I break down what went wrong, what went right, who looked good, who was trash out there, and our week 2 matchup this Thursday against the Vikings. So sit back, relax, let's get it. Episode 49, almost at 50. Yes, sir. Eagles Week 1 review of the 2023 season. We back at it. Fresh off that L at the Super Bowl. Our team came into week 1 looking real rusty. It could be because of not playing the starters in the preseason. It could be a hangover from the Super Bowl, but I think it's rust, really rust from our team. We didn't look good against the Pats on both sides of the ball, but one thing that was important to do in this game was to get the win. And that's what it is. In the NFL, it's hard to win. And when it don't look good, and when you don't want the outcome on offense or on defense that you was looking to get, but you still can get a win, you can fix those things. A little bit easier to fix those things after a loss. Standout players that I seen was Jalen Carter. That's the steal of the draft. And for teams not to draft him, they might be kicking themselves in the butt right now. We went up to get him. Went up to number 9 in the draft. We were at 10, went up to 9. Gave away a 4th round draft pick. But the impact that he had on that line, 8 pressures, 1 sack. They couldn't deal with him. And I don't care what people say, oh, that was their backup line. So what? They in the NFL. This is his first snap, first game, all of that. First time playing in the NFL. And he had that type of performance. Woo! Man, slay. We needed that touchdown. We needed that pick and that touchdown to the house. Slay took it to the house. Corners, they didn't do too well. Slay got beat for a touchdown. Bradbury got beat as well. Safeties, Justin Evans got beat or didn't pick up an assignment for a touchdown. And also, Reed Blankenship got beat for a touchdown. He was right there, but he got beat. But he was balling. Led the team in tackles. 8 tackles. Balling. I was a little upset with Justin Evans and how he played. And I don't think that He should be a free safety. He's better closer to the line, but we'll see what happens in the future. Our offense, it didn't look good at all. Jalen Hurts looked a little rusty. The offensive line couldn't block nobody. They didn't play DeAndre Swift. And Dallas Goedert was not featured in this offense. I always said in all of my pods, Dallas Goedert needs to be featured in this offense. He should be the number one target. Because if he's the number one target in this offense, it only will help on the outside. Because if he's eating in the middle of the field, those safeties, those linebackers will have to pay attention to the middle of the field. Just like Kansas City. When you have Kelsey killing them in the middle of the field, doing damage in the middle of the field, it don't matter who you got on the outside because they're going to get one-on-one. In Kansas City, let go Tyreek Hill. They let go a lot of receivers. Juju, they was like, nah, we don't need you, Juju. They let go of receivers because they have a dominant tight end in the middle of the field. And so now the safety is peeking in. The other corners peeking in. The nickel corners peeking in. The outside corners peeking in. Everybody's peeking in on what Kelsey is doing in the middle of the field. And so if you have Dallas Goedert as he'll be one of the features of the offense. But if he was the main target or become the main target, A.J. Brown's job is way much easier because he won't be getting doubled. You won't have to send a little bit of help in the middle with Dallas Goedert. Smith might not be getting doubled or roll coverage near him. I'm telling you, Dallas Goedert, watch how he eat. I think he's going to eat this game coming up against the Vikings. I really do. So my theory with what went wrong against the Patriots, I really think that they did go up against a defensive-minded coach that had time to prepare for the Eagles all offseason for that first game. That's evident. But my theory, and it could be wrong, it could be right, we'll see on Thursday how they look on offense when they come out, that they didn't want to show an NFC team their offense because we're playing a playoff team that's in the NFC, and we didn't want to show them what type of offense, the plays or whatever that we will be running against them. It's hard to do that when it's later on in the season where you're just putting in wrinkles. You already showed most of your stuff, but you putting in wrinkles in the offense. But in the beginning of the season, we just played Sunday. And then it's 3 more days and then we play another game. I think they looked at it as, okay, we can just run some regular stuff and we can beat the Patriots, which I think they got complacent. They were up 16. All they were like, oh, yeah, we can just score or run this or whatever. And it bit them. They made the game a little bit harder than what they should have made it. But I still think that they didn't show everything. They didn't get Dallas Goedert involved. Last year, Dallas Goedert was involved in the offense. Every time that they played, he was the main staple in the offense over the middle. Screen game. They didn't even do no screens with Dallas Goedert. Now, maybe They couldn't do all of that because they needed him in to block. But I don't know. It look like the offense of last year. And Jalen Hurts, in a couple plays, he did miss Dallas Goedert when he was open, and he went another way, which he won't miss them again. DeAndre Swift didn't even play. He had one carry. One carry from a dynamic back? No. I don't get that. No. And then he only had one reception for no yards? You ain't even get him in space? No. I don't think that's the offense. I think they really didn't run a version of their offense because they knew they were playing an NFC team and they were going to put out all the stops against them because that's playoff implications in the NFC. Yeah, you should win against the Pats. If you look at it in your brain, yeah, we should win this game against the Pats. But against this NFC team, we have to beat them. We have to win against the Vikings early. We playing the NFC team early, just like Dallas played the Giants. They had to win that game. Either team had to win that game. That's my theory. It might not happen, but I really think that we didn't show everything against the Patriots. Or we couldn't show everything because of how good of their defensive front was giving the offensive line havoc. They was creating havoc. So defensively, we did a lot of good things defensively. We were up 16-0. Jalen Carter was a beast, providing that pressure. Jordan Davis was stuffing the hole, created a fumble. Nakobe Dean was out there directing that D. I really think that line is going to be a beast. The only problem that I have is just with the safeties. Now, this week, Bradbury might be out with a concussion. Reed Blankenship might be out because of a rib injury. But I do have faith in the next man up. I do. Now, will it be Sidney Brown or Terrell Edmonds that will go into that spot? I don't know. But I don't like Justin Evans as a free safety because I don't think he has speed to cover the back end like that. I like him as a strong safety closer to the line because he's smacking out there. But on the back end, I don't like him in the back end. And I know the Eagles like to interchange their safeties, but I don't think that Justin Evans is fast enough to be on the back end. So the other games this week, and I'm just talking about the NFC games this week. The 49ers, they look good against a non-playoff team last year. The Dallas Cowboys, they look good against the Giants that I think that was unprepared. It's only week 1. We can't sit here and anoint this team is the best in the NFC or this team is the best in the AFC. You can't do that. It's too early. A team week 7 or week 8 might go on a run. It might be undefeated since week 8, smashing everybody. You don't know what team that might be. But to anoint, the 49ers, they're the best team in the NFC, or Dallas is the best team in the NFC. Who did they play? And what happened during those games? I'm not taking nothing away against the 49ers. The 49ers is a good team. They're built differently than other teams. Defensively, that's where they put all their money at. And that's a good defense. But who did they play? Right? Who did they play? Did they get a win? Okay, they got a win. We're all tied right now. So it don't matter, is what I'm saying. It don't matter. And Dallas, I want to talk about Dallas a little bit. Because the perception that Dallas killed the Giants, which to the naked eye, 40-0, that's a blowout. But how did they get those 40 points? And what happened on the Giants side for the Giants to not score and for the Giants to give up 40 points? Dak wasn't the reason why Dallas scored 40 points. Dak completion percentage was 54%. 143 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. Now, he had 0 picks because we know he threw picks, but in the passing game, their passing game was non-existent. The running game did a little better. They were over 100 yards, but it wasn't like they were over 200 yards, had 10 No. They were roughly over, a little bit over 100 yards. Pollard had 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dow, whatever his name is, 24 yards. And then Turbin had 14 yards. Vaughn had 8 and Prescott had 6. But Turbin had a touchdown. So that's 3 rushing touchdowns. No passing touchdowns. Lamb only had 77 yards. Cook had 22 yards. They really didn't do anything in the passing game. What really set them up was the turnovers from the Giants. And that's a credit to the defense because they do have a good defense. But offensively, Dallas ain't really do anything. Daniel Jones only had 104 yards, 2 picks, 2 fumbles, and Matt Breida had a fumble. So let's put this in perspective. Dallas was getting the ball in the plus area probably from all of their turnovers. The kicker had 10 points, 3 rushing touchdowns. The defense had a touchdown, pick 6. So we can't get into this, Dallas scored 40 and they the best team. Nah, it was the circumstances that how they scored 40. And if they had to throw the ball, we don't know if Dak would have been up for the challenge because we know he threw picks. So this week against the Vikings, Thursday night, 3 players might be out. Gainwell, ribs, Blankenship, ribs, and Cox. We don't know what he's dealing with. And also, maybe 4, my bad. And Bradbury, concussion. We're going against a top offense. Justin Jefferson. They got Addison. They got Hawkinson, the tight end. The only problem that they have is Kirk Cousins and no running game. So if we can shut down the passing game, what type of running game do they have? And we shown in the last game, we shut down one of the best running games in the NFL. Stevenson ain't no joke for the Pats. And so if we can eliminate the run and make Kirk Cousins make mistakes, this might be a blowout, man. It might be a blowout. And I don't care. Blankenship might be out. Bradbury might be out. It's the next man up. But if we can get pressure on Kirk Cousins, come on, man. It might be easy. Y'all seen what the Giants did to Kirk Cousins and them in the playoffs. That team ain't that good. They lost to the Bucks. Come on. Stop. But it's any given Sunday, and anything can happen any given Sunday. But I know one thing. I'm always riding with them birds. And it's go birds go. One. So that was episode 49, Eagles Week 1 review. And then this week, it didn't look too good, but we still got that dub. And now this week, we're going against one of the best receivers in the NFL, and we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking the offense will look way better than week 1, but who knows? We got 2 new coordinators, one on the defense and one on the offense, so we might hit a little rocky road during the season, but I think we'll get it together. So with that, people, stay safe, give respect, and show love. One. Make sure you go listen to all old and new NBC podcast episodes on all podcasting platforms. And please go to www.nothingbutconvos.com for the latest apparel.